We think we have to escape the matrix in order to see the truth, when actually the entire system is telling you, once you get out of the matrix, you have to honor the matrix, because the matrix is feeding you. Take life as if a video game. Try to enjoy every aspect of it, and doing mistakes, because that's the way you learn the systems that no one else can actually teach you. If you take it too seriously on how do I escape, you stop enjoying the game. Just a simple thing of not doing what you love makes you be out of the tune of the universe. The universe has always a reason why that is happening, and anything that you do will have an effect forever. Everything that happens in the universe is generating a new reality, a new pathway. Mind is not in the brain. The brain is just the server for mind. Everything is a network of data. It doesn't actually exist. It's just a shape. It's a cosmic idea. To work with consciousness is about questioning yourself constantly. And at the same time, you accept yourself fully and accept everything that is happening outside. That's consciousness.
Welcome back to the Healing and Human Potential podcast. If you haven't heard our latest episode, number 86 with Matias, I highly recommend that you watch that. Today, we're continuing the conversation, going even deeper, exploring the beauty and power of the void, how to consciously navigate timelines, dreams, extraterrestrial life, and how to prepare for global shifts that are coming. You're also going to hear what the matrix really is and why honoring ancient wisdom like eclipses and equinoxes can support our evolution in ways that modern life often forgets. Our guest today, Matías De Stefano, is a mystic, he's an educator, and a bridge between worlds who really help people make sense of this thing called life. Throughout his own lived experience of remembering his past lives and multi-dimensional awareness, he shares frameworks for making sense of existence and living in alignment with our soul's purpose. Let's get into it. On the last episode, I asked you if this were Earth School and we just happened to forget to go to the first day of school where we got the syllabus, we got oriented, what we're doing here and why. How would you explain that in a simple way, say like fifth grade language, but also on a high level? Break it down for us.
If you look at school, like, I don't like school. If you look at how school is presented today, of course, it's about, okay, you have to learn something. But actually, how you learn is through the experience and games. Like you see in nature, most of mammals and even some reptiles too, and birds, of course, they tend to play. They play by doing things that they would do in their lives. So game is very important. To play is very important. So what would I suggest for someone that is in the fifth grade is to take life as if a video game or Disney park or whatever, and try to enjoy every aspect of it and what it gives you. So the main thing is to enjoy playing and doing mistakes, because that's the way you learn the systems that no one else can actually teach you. Because if I go to a fifth grade and I said, well, we are here in this planet for this, this, and this, it's like teaching algebra. And going straight to a point that no one cares. Because like, yeah, but what can I do about it? Like, oh yeah, we are here to solve a problem that is a conflict in the universe because an ion was missing. I was like, sure, whatever. So, but what do I do? Well, let's relate it to, you feel that something is missing in your life. So how do you find something that's missing? Well, it's hidden. So you have to play in where those things are hidden in life. So you go through stories, you try to find people, to make a trip, to find something different, and to enjoy what you discover, even if it's not the point. But to get the exercise of discovering something that is there, that you cannot see. So this planet is a huge escape room that gives you clues after clues after clues. So if you take it too seriously on how do I escape from this room, you stop enjoying the game. And you just try to escape. So it's not about how do I escape the room, it's about how fun am I having with the short amount of time that I have to figure out all the clues with my friends and whoever I am surrounded by, to find what is this story about. So I guess that's the thing we could explain for 5th grade.
Yeah, like playing in the mystery rather
Yeah.
than making it serious and bringing that
Exactly.
childlike. Every time you say that something's missing, I keep hearing it's you. It's like the real you. Is that how you?
Is the self.
Yeah, the self.
It's
Yes.
the essence that we talk that keeps everything trying to position itself in a different position. Like me sitting in your place, you sitting in his place. So we change position just because someone lost its north.
Yeah.
So because one part of the essence lost it, now we all are trying to fill up that gap. So we all moved one side, but the problem with the universe is that it doesn't work like that. It works with prime numbers, with irregular numbers, with pi numbers, Fibonacci. So someone that moved from 1 to 1, it makes the other one move to 2, but the other 2 moves to 3, and the 3 to 5, and the 5 to 8. So how do you find how to bring back the 8 to 5 until you complete the sequence backwards? So everyone is spread in numbers around the entire universe through the math of encryption in the whole reality. So everyone has been moving in infinity. So how do you correct a system of someone moving from the essence, from itself? The one that moved to another one and created 2. So now the 2 has to create a bridge to the 1 again, creating 3, the Holy Trinity. But the 3 needs now perception, so it needs the duality to express in the 5 senses. So in a box, which is the 8, which is the creation of the Metatron's cube, okay, the 5 senses through these levels of time and space. So, and you start to expand into a whole reality just because the one wanted to see itself.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that.
So it's like,
Yeah, because duality is so ingrained in our existence and our perception, light and dark, good and bad. So why, in your perception, do we have duality? Where did it come from, and what does it say about consciousness?
Well, without duality, you have no idea how to express, how to expand, how to be. When you are yourself, you have no relationship to anything unless you project outside to have a relationship with yourself. So when you project outside something like, I feel this, that feeling is you, but you need to say it somehow. I feel this. I see that. Instead of saying, I see me in the shape of this, you say, I see that. So you need the perception, the expression of yourself in order to compare. So compare means to put pairs in resonance. So I am comparing myself with you means I am resounding with you. So I need you to see me somehow. The thing is that when you are out of your essence, when you compare, is how can I become like you? And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I forgot that I am you too. You know? So I start to compare in a wrong way. So that is the moment when we think that duality is bad. It's just a matter of perception. So we are comparing to everything all the time because we are expressions of the everything. So everything is a part of me, is a pair. So when I resound with that, I compare if I am in my essence. When I get out of my essence, I think that it's my opposite and you have what I don't have. So instead of being positive and negative as compares, now we are in a fight, which is you have what I don't have, so I have to work myself so I can have what you have. And that's what started to create the idea of duality.
Yeah. And the one separated itself to know itself as all of it. Yeah. And I think the languaging that you're saying has us lost, where it's not like I am this. It's like I see this. And that language, we start then losing ourselves. And I think suffering has an intelligence that it motivates us to, that pain is an alarm clock, a wake-up call to come back to our essence, to the truth of who we are.
Yeah.
And I also know that because so many people use these languages, and I know we're not talking about the same thing, I want to break down the matrix, what you see as the matrix, to explain to people, and how waking up beyond the illusion of time, what that does for people and how it shifts their perspective or the game that they're playing.
Well, talking about what we said before about spiritual awakening, you are in the womb of your mother, you are born, and that's kind of a spiritual awakening. So matrix is another word for womb, literally. In Latin, matrix means womb. So what is matrix in all of this? Is basically you are within the womb of your mother, Mother Earth, or the dark matter. So you are within matter. Matter is another word for saying mother. Actually, it's the same word, but took different path in history. So it's the same etymology, the same word. What is matter? Is the mother that holds you. So that means that you are in the matrix of mom.
Would form be another word for that?
Form is like the matter has the form of a glass.
Yes.
The matter has the form of a human.
Yes.
The matter has the form of a chair. But all of it is matter.
Yeah.
So forms are different.
Yeah. Form and formless. The
Yeah.
mother's form.
The mother is everything that you can sense.
Okay. Yeah.
And forms are different ways in which you can sense it.
Okay.
So matrix is basically you are still in matter, which means you are in the womb of Mother Earth or Mother Dark, which is the dark matter. So that's where you are. So what is the feeling? When you're starting to have a spiritual awakening or conscious awakening, you start to understand that this is trapping. It's like, I need to be born. Into what? So you need to get out of the matrix to expand towards the light of the Father, let's say. Another way to say Father is pattern. So pater is also Father. It's the same origin. So you escape the matter to see the patterns. What are the patterns? Geometry, mandalas, the structures of the universe with the colors and everything. So you see the patterns behind everything. You can see the patterns of a tree and a human. They are the same. You have the same structure, just different form in matter. But in the patterns, we have kind of the same. So you have to get out of the matrix to see the patterns. So you are with the Father energy. But do you think that a baby, when it's born, what is the first thing that a baby does naturally when it's born? It doesn't try to get away from the mother. It doesn't try to kill the mother. The first thing instinctively is to go up, crawl, and go to the breast of the mother. So when we talk about matrix, we usually think we have to escape the matrix in order to see the truth. When actually the entire system is telling you, once you get out of the matrix, you have to honor the matrix, because the matrix is feeding you, is giving you the energy to understand the patterns. So if you try to escape Earth by saying Earth is bad because it's patterns and the matrix is trapping me and I have to set myself free, so basically it's like, okay, so who's going to feed you in this new world? Who's going to hold you in your arms for at least 1 year until you know how to communicate with the patterns correctly? So I think that the misunderstanding that we have about what matrix is, it's something we have to also recognize on how we relate with mom and dad. because that's the main thing.
Say more.
Yeah, I mean, we are echoes of a story. So our relationship with the mother, our relationship with our father is related to how we relate with the matrix and the patterns.
Break it down. Give me an example.
Give me an example.
Yeah.
Let's say you grew up in an environment that your mom was very controlling.
Are you reading my past? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So imagine that your mom is very controlling, like tells you everything that you have to do, how you have to feel, what you have to dress, and everything. And you need to follow that. Otherwise, you are not following the rules of your mother. Let's say so you might be kicked away of your house if you don't follow those rules. Eventually, you grow up. You have your own life. You go to college. You get a job. You stop talking with your mom, and then you have some problems with a friend, and you go to therapy to solve the problems with your friend. And actually, the therapist said, "Let's talk about your mother." Okay, so you go to your mother, and then you say, "Okay, I will heal my relationship with my mother." But that therapist takes you to, I don't know, a yoga retreat that takes you to a spiritual awakening, that takes you to wonder, I don't know, YouTube videos that takes you to someone that is talking about the matrix. And suddenly you say, oh, yes, I feel trapped in the matrix and I have to escape the matrix. And because the matrix is controlling your mind, the matrix is controlling your body, the matrix is controlling how you dress, the matrix is controlling how you think, how you feel. And eventually, you're talking about your mother. When for other people, like if you go to, I don't know, native people in the rainforest, in the Amazon, or to places like Papua New Guinea, or these places that have matriarchy. So they don't have one mother, they have many mothers. So suddenly these people don't have that conflict with the matrix, because those people can see the mother as it is. They don't have this controllative energy. They just have a lot of feminine energy that gives you the chance to become what you're supposed to be, instead of trying to control you. So suddenly your relationship with the system is completely different. You don't have that trauma.
It's a reflection of your relationship with your mom.
Exactly. And now repeat that for thousands of years. What you have is Middle East. Okay? Your relationship with your mother. So you have Middle East. What they did, let's make the women shut up. So we are not controlled by that. So let's create a father that takes care of us, because we're in a prison and we have to escape. So now you have like 4 main religions telling you that you have to escape the prison of earth because you're punished in this planet, and you have to go to heaven with your father. And repeat that for 2,000 years. And then you have us trying to escape the system, saying that people is controlling us, the governments are controlling us, the economy is controlling us, the religions are controlling us. And we are just talking about mom. Yeah. But for millions of years. Wow. So we have been just repeating that. So that's why we can think about people that is trying to control our minds behind the governments. But why? It's because they had some trauma with mom. So it's not far away. It's not that far in conspiracy theories. Like all conspiracy theories comes from someone that had a trauma in the childhood. Not only talking about humans, of course, many, but...
and that's mom, the matrix. Yeah. And dad, again, is...
It's the patterns.
The patterns.
It's like the geometry of everything.
But what would an example in a grounded way be?
Patterns are something that leads you. So when you are born, the natural state of being born is that is there to receive you. Now we cannot relate to that because we have so many like doctors or so many people that is not living that. But think about repeating this for millions of years in a cave. So there was a father or a masculine figure that was receiving the baby. So for millions of years, we have had in our minds this idea of a figure that is father coming when we are getting out of the womb. So that image that is telling us about the Father coming from the light. We are coming from a cave, the womb, and suddenly we see the light, and that is there. The Father is there. So what tells us to our subconscious? That person is going to lead my way out. So that person is the one that creates my path, my pattern, the one that I have to follow in order to get out from where I am. So to get out from where I am, I have to follow a pattern. I have to follow that. So for thousands and millions of years, we have been following the leader of the herd, which usually was a male. So we follow that, and we were protected by the feminine. So that's why we had this sense that the feminine needs to feel and pay attention to more things, because they have to pay attention on how everyone is feeling on the herd, while the Father is concerned about what am I going to kill on the path of where I'm going so I can feed them. So that repeated for millions of years.
Like hunter-gatherer
exactly.
Focused. Yeah.
So, and what are the patterns? The patterns are that knows where is the next tree. That knows where is the next well of water. That knows where the buffaloes are. That knows where, and so on. So if you follow that pattern, you will find the buffalo. But if you don't follow that tree with that well of water, you won't find it. So if you break the pattern, you might die. If you don't follow that, you might die. So we created this idea that we have to follow the leader or we will die. We have to follow God or we will die. So follow the son, follow dad, follow the priest, follow a leader, a politician, or whatever. So we have to follow someone with a pattern. And then in our life, because dad said, don't do that or you will burn, don't do that or you will fall. So in our life, we won't jump because we might fall and die.
Yeah.
I'm not going to a holy fire because I might burn. So I start to repeat those patterns because that's what in my mind is telling me that's how I survive. And even if my dad did terrible things to me, abuses or I don't know, in many different ways, the worst thing you can think of, your body is what recognizes as that's why I'm alive. Even if that person abused of me, I'm alive because of that.
Yes, survival.
Survival. So that's a pattern that I will repeat with friends, with lovers, with bosses, or whatever.
So many truth bombs just went off in my mind. I need to rewatch this and digest this. Having worked as a psychotherapist, I think it's so powerful. And what I'm hearing is the more we see it, the less we unconsciously live out of it. Just to kind of come back to, so that's the matrix and waking up out of the illusion of time, because I know that's a really powerful inquiry. What would you say to people? Because I know time, people have all had the experience of time expanding and contracting, but it's in our mind, right? So talk to us about this practice of really inquiring deeply into the nature of time.
Tick-tack. It's the heartbeat of God. If we have all the patterns in our head telling us, pay attention to this, that, and creating a whole mindset for us to survive, and then we have the matrix that is telling you, I'm holding you and creating the matter to sustain the body of the universe. So matrix and pattern. In the middle, we have the heart. So what is the heart? Is the time. Time is the pulse. Tum, 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 tum. Is the pulse that connects the structure of matter in matrix and gives a meaning to it according to the patterns of your mind, the Father. So in the center, time is the one that balances space according to those two points of view. So every heartbeat, it nourishes the matter and the pattern. It nourishes all. So time is what actually helps us perceive the patterns, is what actually helps us perceive the matrix. Why? Because the heartbeat tum, tum, creates a pattern. And if it keeps going, tum, 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 creates a matrix. So every tum, tum is like one dot, a line, and another dot, point A to B. So it creates a whole structure that we perceive as space, but actually was only rhythm. So it was rhythm of ideas that become structure. So what happens with time? That it transforms itself according to how we perceive the patterns. If we start to understand the matrix and the patterns, we dilate time. So suddenly we perceive it longer or shorter according to how we live those patterns. That's why some people think like an hour is too long, and some people think that it was a minute, because of how they are living their own patterns in life.
I'm thinking of it linearly.
Yeah. So in that point of view, we have time as the rhythm, as the heartbeat of the system. What does resound with you? How do you feel your heart? And we go to here to the very human emotions of love, unconditional love. I feel you. I love you. I have my heart beats for whatever. Basically, why the heart beats? Because the heart beats because it has nerves that are connected to the brain. So it has its own rhythm, but it has electrical pulses because of neurons. So there you have patterns in your heart that are beating it. The other thing that makes it beat is blood. How do you produce blood? You have to eat and go to the third structure, which is matter in your intestines, stomach, is the third brain, to produce the energy and the blood for you to have something to bump. So you need the blood from matter and the nerve system from father in order for the heart to beat. And every beat that the heart is making, it aligns you with the whole purpose of the universe. That's why the feeling is love, but actually is blood pressure. I want to describe it like that. So that's why when we feel in love, we relate that to be full with food, with sweetness. It's all the pancreas. With sweetness and also I feel it here. It's just the blood pressures aligning the brain and the intestines with the heartbeat. So we have that in our lives, and we can understand when someone is out of time, when they don't live according to what they love.
What do you mean?
If you don't love what you do, if you don't feel appreciated, loved in the environment, if you don't enjoy what you are doing in your life, and you are not coherent because you are living with people that doesn't make you feel love, or living work situation that doesn't make you feel here. The question is, what you're living is making you feel here? It's making your heart beat in a way that you feel fulfilled, that you feel this. If it's not, you're out of time, which means you lost your rhythm, which means you're out of the patterns and matter, and you are lost in time and space. So it's, for the universe, just a simple thing of not doing what you love makes you be out of the tune of the universe. And now that I say this, for some people it's like, yeah, well, but you have to work and you have to pay your taxes and you have to do your stuff. Yeah, but you can do it doing what you actually love. And what you actually love is not here, because a lot of people think, and mainly in this continent and precisely in this country, and I think more in this city,
Los Angeles,
that in order to feel here, you have to accomplish so many goals. Yeah. And you have to be rich or have this or have that or whatever. So it's like, yeah, but I have to work hard to feel. No. It's not about what you think is making you good. It's about what is actually making you good. Maybe today is to just be with a dog in the street, and that's it. So what makes you feel there? And this is what takes you to the right people. This is what takes you to the right situations.
Synchronicity and flow.
Exactly, because you start to be dum, 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 dum. You start to be in synchrony. You start to synchronize with time. That's what synchrony means. It's synchronos, means to be with time. That's what it means. Synchrony is when you are in your time, you synchronize with the clocks of others. So if they are also tuned, it's a match.
Yeah.
So it's all about time, about how do you process things here. But of course, people talk about this with love and this. I want to like
you separate it. Yeah.
to talk a little bit more of the system and how it works than the emotion of it.
Okay.
So we don't just get into the idea of you have to love, and because there's a lot of that.
Yeah,
there's
do what you love kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's very superficial.
Yeah.
When you say only you have to do what you love, you have to. I've heard many channelings from beings from other worlds, which this is very funny sometimes and very annoying for some people too. When you have like, I don't know, huge beings in the cosmos or the galactic confederation from other worlds, captains of spaceships, that when they are channeled, the channel says, you have to love what you do. And, you know, it's like, what? Like, really? Like, you're an alien and you come to say something that I can read in a
self-improvement book?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, really?
It's like a Hallmark card.
Yeah, something like that. But why is that? Because the entire universe works for the rhythms of time. So most of the people in other dimensions and other worlds cannot connect with the entire planet if the planet is not in the right rhythm. So it's like trying to tune a radio station to hear what humans are saying or what Earth is talking, and you are in Sirius, and you're like, what are they saying? And it's like I can't hear it properly. So what do I have to tell them from other dimensions? Download to humans, go back to your heart. Tune in with your heart, do what you love. I was like, so you can tune actually so they can hear.
Yeah.
And we can communicate through radio stations. So
I'm even just hearing connections between the father of like, maybe the pattern was achievement, success, striving, competition, survival, essentially.
Yeah.
So hearing this podcast, then starting to wake up to that and starting to question that, to say, okay, maybe there's a different metrics that I could create, a different guideline to really be in harmony with what my truth is instead of the conditioning that I've been told from society.
Yeah, of course.
That could be helpful. I mean, I'm hearing that deeper as you're saying it. Imagine having a fulfilling career doing what you love, working from anywhere in the world, setting your own hours while making good money and a big impact. If that lights you up, then I'm super excited to share with you today's sponsor, the Institute for Coaching Mastery. This is my robust, accredited year-long certification program for newer seasoned coaches, therapists, leaders, and those just looking to up-level their life in a profound way. We have an amazing community of students from all around the world who have really started their journey to expand with us both personally and professionally. And this experience is designed to give you the 3 things that you need to thrive. So first, you have all of the tools and support you need to move past what's been holding you back so that you can completely change the trajectory of your life. And then you learn how to masterfully and confidently facilitate transformation with your clients or your team, regardless of your niche. If you want to do health, business, relationship, or you just have no idea yet, we hold your hand through that. And then lastly, you'll receive my 6-figure and beyond signature roadmap that's customizable to meet you wherever you are. So whether you want to do high ticket sales, online marketing, or you just want to hit 6 figures without ever needing to go on social media, we've got you covered. And this truly is the most rewarding work in the world. We have new students now who have a wait list of dream clients in under a year. We also have seasoned students who are doing $80,000 months. And this is really about creating lasting transformation from the inside out so that you can share your gifts and serve the world in all the ways that you're called to. And I've seen firsthand the power of what happens when you have the community to collaborate with, but you also have the right tools and resources to really thrive. And so whether you want to do your own personal development, you're wanting to become a coach, or you're just looking for a cutting edge approach to really grow your business, the Institute for Coaching Mastery is for you. You are held every single step of the way. And so if you want to get behind the scenes access to the Institute with 3 proven transformational tools for free to help you create the business and life you love, all you have to do is go to alyssanobriga.com/tools, or you can find us at alyssanobriga.com/apply now to see all the details and apply today. What is one of the biggest spiritual truths that we have forgotten, and how would remembering that help us?
Well, I think that this is one of them, the one where we are talking about. In the first civilizations that started to tune in with the higher consciousness, they understood that everything is about rhythm and vibration. And that if you don't resound with your own self, you cannot create nothing outside. You can't be and create what you are supposed to be. So one of the biggest teachings, I believe, is how to tune with yourself, how to be tuned with yourself. And this brings us to part of the first conversation we had before, which is, if right now I'm tuned with emptiness because I need to find out something there, so tune in with that. Being tuned is not like being the image of Buddha, or an enlightened one. It's basically to be tuned with what your song is saying right now. Because for the universe, you are not a person. For the universe, you are a wave in the infinite song of the universe. And in a song, sometimes you have a do, and sometimes you have a oh. So different octaves, so it's the same note, but in different octaves. But if you just keep going to do, 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 suddenly you disappear because no one can hear you anymore in this reality. So you get enlightened, let's say, but it's actually because you are like moving to a different realm. In a song, there's no song that goes da na 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 na. The songs go like da na 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 na. It goes up and down. So to be tuned with the universe is to allow yourself to feel in which note are you in every moment. That you don't have to just jump from one to the other.
Yeah.
You have to dive in all of them. And that's how you start to tune with the others and the other instruments that are in reality.
The symphony. So that's why I feel that one of the ancient knowledges that humanity had was sitting around the fire, playing the drum, and feeling how the drum aligns with the heart of everyone. And that's what tuned everyone in the same frequency. So then they could spread it through the body. And that's why they could dance, bringing the patterns with the movement. And that with the flute, with other instruments. And we started to create stories around the sounds. And we carry it in the heartbeat. So that became technology. For Atlantis, how they built pyramids, it was because of music. Because the architects were tuned with themselves as instruments of music. I think that's one of the most important things. Beautiful. Thank you for that. And I'm also curious about extraterrestrial life, what your thoughts or experiences are with aliens.
Well, it's like I said, glass of water or galaxy. It's basically us in a different way, in a different shape. Some of them with different bases, so they don't look like us. They're very different from us, but everyone follows the laws of the universe, those main laws, and vibration is there, rhythm is there. So that's why extraterrestrial beings, they don't usually travel through space. They travel through time. They don't usually connect a world with the other by building a spaceship to go outside, but they build spaceships to go within. So they could travel through molecules. So that's how we become them through millions of years of pollination. So it's a long process of sending packages of data. So there are many billions of planets that are evolving, that are in a lower process than us, or the same process, or a higher process. Most of them don't know about us, as we don't know about them. And those who know about us, they basically, as I said before, they're trying to tune.
That's one of the laws of the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there other laws that we should know about of the universe?
The main ones that you can read about them, the mentalism, which is the first one, everything's mind, but not here. Mind is everything. It's a network of data. So mind is not in the brain. The brain is just the CPU, the processor, the server, let's say, for mind. So everything is mind. It's mind means that everything is a network of data. It doesn't actually exist. It's just an idea. It's just a shape of an idea. And that is not human. It's a cosmic idea. So that's the first one. Then the law of correspondence. Correspondence means to answer with, which means that if I make a question, I will receive that answer. If I give an answer, I will receive the question related to that. We summarize that into there's above and below, right and left,
within,
without. So everything corresponds to something else in order to exist, to understand the mind. Then it's vibration. Vibration, everything is vibrating. Everything is vibration. So wavelength of the mind. So you are going to tune into what you think, what you feel, what you do. That would be the tuning aspect. Then the rhythm. The law of rhythm is everything has a rhythm. So tum, 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 tum. That's the rhythm of everything. So everything will repeat somehow. So according to the rhythm that you have, it will repeat in one way or the other. Cause and effect. Everything that you do will have an effect. Or every effect has a cause, always. There's nothing that just happens. That's what it means. Like, oh, why this is happening to me? Or this just happened. It makes no sense, but that's what happens. That's how it is. No. Like the universe has always a reason why that is happening. There is always a cause of why that is happening. And anything that you do will have an effect forever. So that law, it's telling you, you are the result of many causes. So you have to understand these causes to understand you. And you have to be very aware of the causes that you do, because it will affect everyone and yourself. So be mindful about that.
Yeah.
Then it's polarity. So everything has poles, which means everything has one side and another side, which is not duality.
Okay.
This one is not related to duality and the idea we have about two things. This one is basically saying, if you have this hand, you have one side and another side. That's what it means. They're not against each other, but they make sense. They give sense. Like polarity would be electron, proton, for example. So they make sense together. If they are not correctly together, they create a toxic environment. So the importance of polarity to create. That's what gives us to the last one, the seventh, which is generation, which means that everything that happens in the universe is generating a new reality, a new option, a new pathway. So there's constantly option to create something. It never stops. Creation never stops. So it will constantly try to feed this with that and to do another shape, even if it's all the same mind, an idea, but it will constantly find a different way to do it. And that's why we commit mistakes. Mistakes are not something bad in the universe, in our universe at least. They're not something bad. Mistakes are ways that the universe found in order to complete a new image. So it breaks something in order to put it in a different position. So that's the law of generation. So that would be kind of the 7 laws that I humanize them a little bit, but
it's helpful. Yeah, helpful to study and to dive into and rewatch. And
and there are of course many books that explain it better.
One of the other things I was curious about is dreams. You talk about that they're not just random events, that they're journeys into different dimensions. What's happening when we sleep? How do we use that to dreams as portals into other dimensions?
Dimensions are perceptions of your reality. So when you dream, you're able to tap into different perceptions of that reality, which means that you are accessing different dimensions of yourself. So most of them are related to things that we do in our daily life. But when we start to open into more dimensions, suddenly they start to give us information that makes no sense in our daily life. So usually we discard them because it's like, scientifically we could say it's just the brain trying to adjust data and grabs information from the 5 senses. And because it's like making a backup, it's like a daily backup of, it's just making a mix of a lot of things. And that's what a dream is. But actually, of course, that's true. But actually what is happening is that during that backup, you are uploading information to the cloud. So which means that in that moment, you are not just connected to your own device. You're connected to the cloud. So that means that all that information that you are uploading into the mind, the only thing that exists in the universe, into the mind, now it can be like a filter for you to download something from the cloud.
Does this have anything to do with timelines and multi-dimensions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's all about it.
Okay, how does that fit in? Because I wanted to ask you about reality being multidimensional and timelines existing at once.
Of course, reality is multidimensional. What actually happens is that we are only perceiving a slice of it. So this is not purely the 3rd dimension. We perceive the 3rd dimension. But here it's also happening all the others.
At once.
At once. It's not like to go to the 5th dimension, you have to go up there or above the clouds.
How do you ground that, like right now?
Let's say you bought a lot of veggies, many different kinds of veggies, and with all of them you made soup. So what is that soup? It's all the veggies at once. And now you can taste the flavor of all of them, and even salt, and you cooked different things that you think they're separate, but they have the same chemicals inside of them, just in a different form, but you have the same structures that you need for your body. And you just mix them with water, you create a solution, and now all mixed is only one thing that you call soup. So you perceive the soup, but actually all the chemical elements that were in every vegetable, they're together now and they're coexisting. So we are like that soup of dimensions. So it's not that they are one veggie upon the other.
Right.
You know? So they're all mixed and they're happening at the same time. Animals can perceive a different kind of dimension of the 3rd dimension. Insects can perceive ultraviolet colors that we cannot perceive. So that gives you the idea on how we can have many dimensions happening at the same time. Your cat is not seeing what you see. The bees are not seeing what you see. It's completely different.
But there are different timelines also happening at once.
Also, because of the quantum level.
Yes.
Which is every particle can be anywhere.
Are you saying it has the potential to be everything?
Every proton has the possibility to be everywhere and everything.
So using the soup analogy, it could be the carrot as a seed. It could be the carrot rotted.
Yeah, it could be also the cucumber.
Right. And then every other vegetable. All in the same timeline.
That's the moment when all of it is mixed. You start to wonder, was I a cucumber or was I a carrot? Because I am.
Always.
Because now in that soup, everything is mixed, and if you try very hard to identify yourself as a carrot, it's going to be difficult because now you are not a carrot anymore. So you are the everything, and every proton has the possibility to be anything, anywhere, at any time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just linked to time and space when it creates a structure.
Which loops us back to the last conversation we had of some of the personal work I think that you're doing of letting go of all the different forms and identity. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you stop trying hard to be the carrot when you actually can be everything. Yeah, so that's the analogy. Let's say. Yeah.
The nothingness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When embraced is everything. So like the short-term discomfort for a bigger awakening into everything.
Exactly.
In the future, what should we know in terms of the future of humanity? What should we be focusing on as things evolve? What do you think is important for us to know?
Depends on who. Of course, we're talking to people that are wandering. So I would speak just for the wanderers. The people that are wandering, the main thing that we have to do is to understand what consciousness is. Consciousness is going to be the most important asset for humanity in the future, because we're heading to an Aquarius age. And Aquarius is very fast, very changing, very weird, very crazy. So many things will happen that will take our attention out of the center. In the age of Pisces, like the last 2000 years, we had religion as a way of finding the focus. So it was easier for the people, even if it was chaotic and everything was destroying constantly and you had no idea if you would survive next day. But all that chaos was held by a cross, a moon, Star of David, or any symbol. So our consciousness was held there. So that's how we didn't lose the focus of Pisces. So what happens in the 2000 years ahead, where everything is going to be changing here, which is terrible, because in the previous 2000 years, everything was changing just outside. And we held a mindset. Like if you go to someone, the Egyptian time, 3000 years ago, and you take someone from the 50s or during the World War II, the mindset is kind of the same. So 3000 years of kind of the same mindset. The outside changed. But in the last 50 years, this is out of control. The mind is out of control. Why? Because we started to break the only things that kept us here, which was religion and a fixed idea that we cannot change. And suddenly we started to wonder. We started to, maybe that's not the truth. So what is the truth now? Oh, it can be anything. Welcome to Aquarius. It can be anything. It can be whatever. So now you can go through technology and go through all YouTube and TikTok and whatever, and you have thousands of options of possibilities of everyone telling you stories that may or may not be true. And all these conspiracy theories, and people believe in them, and in the same way as they believe in religion, but people change in religion every 2 days, or it's so complicated to know what is the focus of all of this. What is what we are? Where are we heading to? Like democracy or kingdoms, or what do we do? So it's so much, and science every day is like trying to explain things, but at the same time is committing so many errors that people stop trusting in science. So now we don't even believe in science or technology. So Aquarius time is going to be about what is my consciousness? And because we will have, with AI, with technology and everything, we're going to solve many problems. Like many problems are being solved, many solutions will happen. But if we keep the mindset of 3000 years ago, this technology will be the end of us. So that's why one of the main things that we have to have in mind is how can we balance our brain, our focus, so we can change everything, and not needing to come back to the religion to trap our mind, keep the focus anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why consciousness is going to be something very important. And to work with consciousness is about questioning yourself constantly.
That's right.
Questioning yourself and questioning everything at the same time you accept yourself fully and accept everything that is happening outside. That's consciousness.
And that's a recipe for freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I could talk to you all day. I'm so grateful for you. And I know that myself and everybody watching is like, how do we support this man? How do we support you?
Allow me to die.
We will. We will be celebrating your expansion.
First of all, allow me to die. Sometimes I need to disappear. But of course, all of this I'm receiving in the shape of projects that we have.
Yeah.
And we are still shaping them to know exactly why we're doing them and how we are doing them. But I would love for everyone to be tuned in so they can sense in that story, how can they support?
Yeah.
Because we are creating a foundation, a project, in order to start developing all these projects.
I think a lot of people trust your integrity and are going to want to support whatever your attunement is around how to be of service in a greater way. Is there a project, though, right now that you can share about? We will put all the links here below to be able to support the ongoing projects. But if there's anything that's important now.
Well, right now we are trying to start promoting gatherings that we are doing every solstice and equinox in different parts of the planet. And the idea is again, the rhythm. Because solstice and equinoxes are the tum, 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 between moon, sun, and earth. So to balance the calendar, to balance time, and we call these gatherings Holy Nada. So, and Rainbow Bridge to Holy Nada. So to create that Rainbow Bridge. So that's the main thing that we are kind of trying to create right now for the next years. So the next one is in June. Of course, then September and then December, and we will keep doing those gatherings. So I would love for everyone to join.
Yeah, I want to
physically or online.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a way to support for me to keep going.
Yeah, and financially, if people can also support, I want to plug that just so that they can support, whether they can come physically or they can come virtually, but also to financially support this work.
And of course, financially support. We are establishing a foundation in Liechtenstein because Metatron told me. Which is a whole other story. But it was like, okay, to start to support all the projects that we are thinking that matches in how to start balancing and repairing this time. We don't have a specific website for that, but we are developing all that right now. So we will share all the links.
Yeah, we'll put them here below the video. And as you have them, I'll keep updating them. But you were such a breath of fresh air. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for how you move through the world. It's such a blessing to have you on.
Thank you for the space.
Thank you so much for doing this work that changes the world, starting with yourself. It truly does make a difference. And if you're finding value in this podcast, a cost-free way to support us is by following us. It does help us grow, and we are so grateful. Leave a review on Apple or Spotify, submit a screenshot of that, and upload it to alyssanobriga.com/podcast. As a thank you gift, we will be sending you one of the most powerful tools that you can use on any area of your life to help you tap into your full potential so that you don't let fear hold you back from really stepping into your dreams. I have so much more magic I want to share with you, and I cannot wait to do that soon. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for being an example of what it's like to live with an open heart and mind in the world.